Okay, my name is David Kemp. Doing a presentation over an article written by Pruitt and Jana Oetting, along with Michael Hegarty. The article is titled "Passive Participle Marking by African American English Speaking Children Reared in Poverty." The purpose of the article was to explain a study that the authors did. They examined the linguistic profile of African American English speaking children reared in poverty by focusing on their marking of passive participles, and they're comparing the results of the author's previous studies of homophonous forms of past tense. Basically what they did was they took 45 5- and 6-year-old children, and that group was comprised of 15 low-income or low socioeconomical students, 15 mid-income students, and then a mixture of another 15 students that didn't fit either one of those two groups. They used the 30 students that were not low socioeconomic students as controls to keep their study unbiased and fair. Basically, what they found was African American English students use non-standard English markings on passive participles and past tense words. For an example, instead of keyed, they key. The word key in the past tense is keyed, and they often would say keyed, or they would use something non-standard English, as in kide. Their findings were varied, but they came to the conclusion that the low markings for African American English students were based on their low socioeconomic class and their lack of an English speaking environment, standard English speaking environment. Basically what that means is their parents and their peers within their speech community spoke broken English or non-standard English or African American English, and so the model that they had to follow didn't help them and didn't provide a community or an environment that catered to standard English. Within the study, they found the students to make more errors in English when it was related to passive participles instead of past tense. One thing that they noted as a factor is in impromptu English or unstaged English, those kids used past tense verbs twice as often as they used passive participles. And so not only did they get more practice in past tense verbs, they heard it more often also, which allowed them to use them more correctly in their spoken English. Another factor in this was in passive participle verb tenses, there's more options for the verb. For instance, the verb choose, to choose, could be said in 3 ways: choose, chosen, or chose. And along with them not hearing the passive participle tense as often and them not saying it as often, there's also more options for them, or there's more area for error in passive participle because there's more options. And so that led to more errors in their English. I come across some of these same errors in the children or the young adults that I work with. Just because this study is on 5- and 6-year-olds, I think it's relevant to 18, 19, all the way up to 22, 23-year-olds that I work with as college student athletes. And so this culture is repetitive, I believe, and the younger brothers and sisters of the college student athletes that I work with, hear them making the errors in standard English while they're using African American English, which leads to the younger brothers and sisters making the same errors. And this culture and these errors become redundant because of the error, which is a poverty in the English environment or language environment that they grew up in. I found the article very interesting and relevant, and I hope I explained it well enough for you to understand it. Thank you.